Hey, you're listening to Marketing Out Loud, a daily podcast where I share advice, stories, and insights to help you build a thriving consulting or professional services practice. To subscribe to the show, head over to marketingoutloud.fm. When you're doing marketing right, what happens is you have this steady stream of prospects who want to talk to you. And you're having lots of conversations, which is a great place to be, but it also presents its own challenges. One of those challenges is that a lot of times people you're talking to are just not a good fit. And you can qualify as much as you can on the front end. But in the end, if you're having lots of conversations, then by law, a lot of those conversations are not going to be a good fit. They're not all going to buy. You don't want all of them to buy. And that can be frustrating. Because let's say you're closing 30%, which is a decent close rate. Then out of every 10 conversations, 7 are not going to buy. And a good chunk of those might not even be a good fit to work with you. And if you're not careful, that can be very damaging to your mindset. Because you might start to believe that, well, maybe I don't have an offer that people want. Or maybe I'm missing the mark in my positioning. Or maybe I'm just not being very good at selling my expertise and my services. When in fact, none of that is actually true. I mean, it might be true, but it very likely isn't true. Because the truth is that there are certain qualities of your ideal client. And these qualities are not easy to target. They're not demographics, they're psychographics. Their beliefs, their experiences, their worldviews, their values. And the only way to uncover those kind of soft criteria is through a conversation. And the ones who are aligned with you at that level, beliefs, values, worldviews, they buy very easily. The ones who aren't have a real hard time buying, even if they're otherwise a good fit, even if they otherwise need your help, and even if you know you can help them. And you got to be able to know the difference between the two, and to be able to say very objectively to the people who are not a good fit, this is not for you. That's a line that I think is straight out of Seth Godin's new book, This is Marketing, where he talks about shunning the non-believers. And he says that if the people who you're not selling to, the people that you don't want to serve, if they don't get it, that's okay. Simply say to them, this is not for you. They don't need to get it. And the more time and energy that you invest in trying to get them to get it, trying to convince them, trying to persuade them, then A, the less time that you're spending actually communicating with the people who do get it and who want the thing that you offer. But B, the more your mindset suffers. The more you think, well, maybe nobody gets it. Maybe this is just not something that people want. Maybe I just can't sell this thing. When in fact, that might not be the case. You just might be talking to the wrong people. So the thing that I want you to think about is this. Who are your people? And how do you know when you found them? I can tell within the first 10 minutes of a conversation whether or not this is somebody who's going to buy or not. Because there's certain questions that they ask. There's certain qualities. There's certain attitudes and beliefs and worldviews that come out of the conversation that I can tell. I can see exactly where this is going. And in my case, I'm looking for people who are coachable. I'm looking for people who believe in investing in a process. I'm looking for people who are willing to do the work. I'm looking for people who align with me at a belief level, which is things like you've got to sell your ideas before you sell your services. You've got to maintain the posture of the expert in all your marketing and sales activities. You've got to really get laser focused on who you're serving and what your offer is. And you've got to be able to command premium prices for your expertise. I mean, these are just some examples of the kinds of beliefs I want people to have heading into a relationship with me. And whenever there's a disconnect, it doesn't work out by design. When there's a disconnect, I don't want it to work out. I don't want them to work with me. And I can tell, even if they haven't articulated their perspectives on these things, I can tell really quickly in a conversation whether they're the kind of people who are going to be aligned with me on these things or not. And if they're not, that's okay. We'll have the conversation. I'll help them. I'll coach them. I'll help them see things the way that I want them to see things. And then either they will or they won't. And if they don't, I simply step back and say to myself, not to them, this is not for you. And that's okay. It can't be for everybody. I'm only one person, okay? I can't help everybody. And that's a great place to be, just to detach yourself from the sale when it's not working out and just say, look, this is not for you, but have the confidence to say that it is for somebody else. So instead of trying to get you to buy, instead of trying to sell you something that you don't really think you need, and I'm not really convinced will help you because you don't think you need it, I'm going to focus my energy and my attention on finding the next person who does want it and does need it and does align with me at a psychographic level and will therefore get the results I want them to get. That's where you want to be. Now, obviously, that's easier when your lead generation is working. You've got appointments being set. People are lining up to talk to you. It's easy to say, no, this is not for you, and move on to the next one when there is a next one to move on to. But that's the goal. You want to get to the point where you have that option. Because right now, if you don't have that lead gen worked out, then what's happening is you're clinging to that opportunity because you don't know when the next one's coming around. You're in that scarcity mindset where it's like, well, if I don't sell this one, then what happens next? Then where's my next deal coming from? And you're never going to make good decisions coming from that place. So the thing I want to leave you with is the following. Get to a place where you can say with a clear head and with confidence when a deal is not working out and you don't see the opportunity there anymore, this is not for you. Hey, thanks for listening. Do me a favor, if you like what you hear, go on iTunes and leave us a rating and a review because it helps more people discover the show. Thanks so much.